And most of the cases right now are very young, 15 to 24. What does this mean?
Yeah, so this is concerning to us, I'm sure to everyone, because the age group before was from 34 to 59, if I'm not mistaken. The data will show us that from 25 to 34, the numbers are higher, but the 15 to 24 segment is gradually increasing. We are, earlier off air, I was discussing with one of your staff, and we are looking at the idea of more social interactions in the digital age. It's not so much the content, although, yes, there is some content component to it, but the fact that in the 90s and 80s, if I may, when we were kids, when we were teenagers, remember when you had to make a phone call, you actually have the corded phones, and then when you make telebabad, you actually, when you pick up the phone, the parent of who you're trying to court, the one trying to court you says, "Who is this calling? Don't call now." So that was the 90s. Now the kids can actually go direct messaging to each other, which means it's good and it's bad. There is more social interaction, but more social interaction, unsupervised, can actually lead to more sexual activity. So what's the key message here? We're asking our parents, if during the 90s, parents now, if during the 90s and the 80s, the parents then would say, shut off the TV, that's enough for today, maybe right now, and as is good practice, parents now should say, stay away from the digital media, from the social media phones and the devices, and go out and play more, go out and interact more. It's not only for HIV prevention, it's also for prevention of childhood pregnancies, and for prevention of obesity, because instead of just sitting digitally and actually meeting people anonymously online, it's better to meet them in person.
Well, I guess there's a lot of wisdom then to this new law being passed in Australia, where they're banning social media for people under 16.
Yes. So actually there are findings. The exact age bands and number of hours escapes me right now, but I do remember coming across a paper written that for 2 years old and below, absolutely no devices. For 2 to 3 years old or 2 to 4, a certain number of hours, and the number of hours only increases as you mature. Because the idea here is, apart from the brain being rewired too early, it might lead to behaviors like later on, as we were discussing and connected to the HIV, rise in HIV cases. It might lead to behaviors that will promote such conditions. So we want to make sure that that is taken care of, and parental supervision plays a big role.